I feel like sometimes when people try to do, good things, there's a little bit of pushback. I don't know what it is. It's like a tall poppy syndrome kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think
They
you're doing
love
that
that
because
in
you're better than me?
Australia. They love it.
Yeah, it's kind of you're doing your own thing. Like, I was vegetarian for a while, and
Yeah.
I didn't tell anyone they should be vegetarian. Like, it was my choice. That was it, and constant barrage of who do you think you are, basically. And it was like, oh, well, you can do what you want. And like, and now I'm not vegetarian anymore. I try and be more consumer conscious about what I'm eating as much as I can. I mean, interestingly, like, do you have with spearfishing? I've always found it a fascinating topic because it gets a hard rap, but to me, it's like the most sustainable way of fishing.
Yeah. To me, it's the most selective one. Like,
yeah,
go out, you know what size a fish is after it's already been able to do multiple series of reproduction cycles.
Yeah.
And you select that one species for the day and you take what you need, like, for the day. Like today we took one coral trout and we caught 3 squid, and like that's gonna feed me tonight, and it's gonna feed 3 of my friends tomorrow. And my house has some squid, you know. So like, in a way, it's the most locally sourced product that I can get on the table.
100%.
Like,
No refrigeration, nothing.
Like, 1 kilometer, and then put it on the table. Like, so it's, and then, and as long as people don't go out there and just flog it, like, if you're consciously aware, you can also see where it can be bad, like where people are just like, oh, it's open slather. There's no fines in some countries. There's no size restrictions. There's no like incentive not to be a cowboy and just go out there and shoot whatever you want. Like,
I've always found Australia good like that.
Yeah, you need to have that conscious effort of like man, like if we got caught with undersized fish or like a cray that's in berry or something, like you can lose your bloody car, man. Like,
they'll take your car.
They'll take your car, they'll take your boat, they'll take some of the fines are more expensive for that than like like a lot of other things in Australia. Like, like a speeding fine where you could actually kill somebody by doing it is less of a fine than what it is taking a crayfish in berry. Like, so it's like people don't do it, man. Like, because I don't want to lose my car over crayfish. Like, it's like, and it works.
It does, 100%.
It's legit. It works. Like, people follow the rules. Like, and then it works. Like, we can go diving, and I love spearfishing because you can go and dive a spot and watch it. You see the transition of that same bommy, like week in, week out. See what other species come and inhabit it, or come and inhabit that section of the reef. Whereas if you're sitting on the surface of the water, you don't know what's going on down there.
No, that's it.
All you know is you put down a hook and there's some bait, and you pull up. Like, unless you're a really like expertise fisherman that actually has been doing it for a long period of time and they know what's going on in the ocean, then they're better at it. But in terms of spearing, like in shallower water, like it's one of the best, I reckon. And way less of a carbon footprint than like me ordering tofu from Japan.
It's 100%.
Like, which has had to be processed, or from Indo, like had to be processed, all the fermentation thing. Like, in Indo, I've been visited some of the tofu and tempeh factories that ship to Australia, and like, they've cleared a whole one of some biologically really diverse rainforests, planted a whole bunch of soybeans out, and then it goes through a fermentation process that there's no restrictions on where that fermentation goes, and they just dump it in a local lake or in a local river, and then it kills out a whole ecosystem because it's just
Yeah.
fermented gnarly white water.
Yeah.
And
Just
then
takes
it
us all.
goes out, gets packaged, wrapped in plastic, and then sent on a plane and a truck to Australia, and
Yeah.
then refrigerated and frozen for God knows how long. Like,
Yeah.
but none of that comes. But then you talk to other people, and they're like, "Well, you're an asshole for killing a fish." And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, like you don't even know how many animals have died in order to get that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even calculated. Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of the science that you look through for a lot of these different products is it's all over the shop. It's like,
Yeah.
so generally I just like I work as a chef as well. So
Yeah.
like, good luck trying to be a vegetarian vegan chef, man. Like,
It's difficult. I've got a mate in New Zealand who's
open up
doing it.
my own restaurant. That's about my only option. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
or I don't eat anything that I serve to people, which is just
Yeah.
not kosher as a
No.
good chef. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so my basic theory on food is just trying to source as locally as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you've got that, connection with nature, which like we're talking about with corals. Corals can be brutal, and that's part of it.
mm,
And but
yeah,
you're connected with it. And like going to the same bommy, you understand the processes going on. Have you watched that My Octopus Teacher at all?
I know. I
Oh,
really
mate,
want to. That.
when you talked
Yeah,
about that, it really reminded me of that movie. It's like
yeah,
goes to the same spot just to watch this octopus, and even then you
yeah,
see how brutal wildlife can be.
yeah.
But
Oh, for
it's
sure.
you
I
know,
think a lot of people are so disconnected from nature now that they literally read whatever they look at, and there's no actual conscious thought process going on as to where it actually come from and what, a lot of people are like, oh, the cows in Australia, like they did clear a forest one day. And
yeah,
it's like, yeah, like they did 100 years ago, like, and now the farmer is running a semi-agricultural pastoral land where he also has trees and stuff for the cows. And like I've grown up around farms and farmers and stuff. I've
yeah,
known a lot of people that have worked on dairy farms and that. And man, those dudes care about those cows more than they do their kids and family half
ow.
the time. Like,
It's
and
very
it's a
true.
sad day
Yeah,
for a lot of them when they have to send off Betsy, the most friendly cow that is hand raised. Like,
yeah, yeah,
it depends on what farm you're getting it from and what area. It's like a lot of people are just like, oh, well, I've watched this video of commercial farming
yeah,
and on the internet, and all farmers are like that. I'm going to go and protest at this guy's farm and shut it down. And like
yeah,
some dude stole a goat in
yeah,
Australia like last year or something, and like had it living in a city apartment. It's like, dude, that's a herd animal. Like, you've just gone and stolen it away from its mum and family, and now you've locked it up in an apartment building in the city. Like,
yeah. It's completely
how do you
confused.
think you've actually benefited that animal?
Yeah,
Like even just there was another one where a dude broke into a farm and had a photo of him carrying a calf over his shoulder. It's like It's a their animals are not designed to be carried over a shoulder. Like they're like not even designed to support their own body weight in their rib cage section. Like, can you imagine the amount of internal organ damage you've just done to that animal? Like while trying to do something good for it. It's
yeah,
like that conscious thing of like you're trying to do good, but like you need to process every aspect of it as much as you can, like rather than it just being reactionary.